I 21M have been looking for my sister 18F since 2014. I found a way to contact her last night, but I'm not sure how to do it. My parents got divorced in August of 2014. It was a messy F-seekin divorce, one of the worst I've ever known. And I know quite a few of my friends' parents. My mother took half of my dad's savings, half of his pension. He had just retired after 11 years in the army, 25 years in the police. She was cheating medical benefits during this time, half of the house, the mortgage on which she never contributed to, and even tried to get half of the compensation my dad was awarded after being hit by a car. ICU, medically induced coma in various hospitals and rehab centers from November 2015. January 2016, yes. The divorce took almost 2 years. Long story short, she bankrupted my dad. We were on the verge of homelessness for a while. He spiraled into depression, which drugged me into depression. Things were bad for us. She also tried to use me and my sister as a weapon against him. She moved to Surrey, a place near London 200 miles from where we were living at the time, to be with the man she was cheating on my dad with. My sister, 14 at the time, went with her. My mom tried to make me come too. I wasn't NC at this point, but I had just started a software development apprenticeship at the time, so I stayed with my father. Things were okay. I even went down to Surrey to see them. It was when I was down there that I overheard my stepfather chatting shite about my dad, a man he had never met, calling him worthless, good for nothing. Not a real man was thrown in there a couple times. She was laughing along all the way. Obviously, I was upset. When I got back home, I texted her to let her know that I knew what he had been saying. This led to a barrage from her side and telling me never to talk or attempt to contact her, my stepfather, or, and this is the only thing that killed me, my sister. I happily obliged with the first two. I carried on talking to my sister through Facebook, saying things like, "I will never not love you. You'll always be my sister." She said similar things back and said she missed me. I went to message her one day and she'd blocked me. I got a text from her saying that the way I spoke to my mom and stepfather was disgusting and that they have been nothing but amazing to me and her. When I first read it, I thought it was weird. When my dad got the exact same text word for word, despite not saying anything to either of them, I knew it was my mother pretending to be my sister. I texted her back something along the lines of, "Your bullshit has always been easy to see through, Mom's name." I didn't get any message back. Now's not the time to go into it. But after a drunken conversation with my dad, I found out my mom was always emotionally abusive and a total narcissist. When she found out I tried to kill myself, she mentioned in a letter to another family member that I should have tried harder. I never want anything to do with her again. The issue at hand. As mentioned above, my father was bankrupted. He had no money left to fight for custody of my sister. I know he'd do anything to see her again. Going through courts is no longer an option. We don't know where they live. We don't have the money. We don't even know if any of them are still alive. Until yesterday. My girlfriend and I were scouring the web for any online presence of any of them, when she found a Facebook profile for my sister that was created around 2 weeks ago. It only has one profile picture, and the privacy settings are on pretty much maximum. You can only message it. She sent me the link to it, and I'm blocked. However, given what happened with the text message a few years back, I'm inclined to believe that's in part due to my mother. Maybe I'm being stupidly naive, and my sister really doesn't want anything to do with me. So here's my dilemma. Not only has my sister been cut off from me, she's been cut off from her entire family. All her aunts, uncles, and grandparents are not allowed to contact her, lest they corrupt her mother's words into seeing me and my dad again. I can message my sister if I create a new Facebook account, even if it's just to let her know that whatever she's been fed about mine and my father's feelings about her are lies, and that we still love her. Even if it's just to let her know that her nan thinks about her every day, and she could die happy after just one phone call from her. The issue is, I don't want her mother intercepting the message and making things worse for her or us. I'm sure her account is heavily monitored. I might sound crazy to a lot of people, and I know there's two sides to every story, including this one, but I promise you on my own life, living under my mother is like living under a dictatorship. Your thoughts aren't your own. It's horrible. She will start university in September, I assume. I'm thinking the best way to do this is to message the account around October time. The thing is, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to be told to go fuck myself by her. My dad's therapist has said there's a very real possibility my sister grows to become like my mother. Part of me is ready to accept that fact as closure. Part of me wants to believe that would never happen. and part of me thinks I should just leave it alone. I'm really at a loss for what to do. For 4 years I've been looking for her. Now that I've finally found her, or at least an online presence of hers, I really don't want to mess anything up. What's the best way to go from here? Update. Well, I'm 23 now. Finished university, starting a real job. Dad and I no longer have depression. Life is pretty good. As for my sister, a few interesting things happened to say the least. Firstly, I took the overall consensus from the original post and didn't make any attempt to contact her. I did drunkenly check her the page from time to time to see if anything had changed, and I found that I'd be unblocked on my main Facebook account. Probably around August that same year, my sister rang my aunt and said she wanted to arrange a meeting with her and her son, our cousin, obviously. My aunt immediately rang my dad and I and told us the good news. We were both uncertain about how we should take it, but overall, we were pretty happy. They all meet up, and apparently my sister has also been kicked out of our mother's house for some reason or another, and is staying with a friend, and she hasn't spoken to my mother for over a year at this point in November. The story goes that my mother and her new victim managed to ostracize themselves from all their friends down there, and my mother took out her aggression on my sister. So she stormed out and turned up teary-eyed at this friend's house and has been living with them ever since. She asked about me and my father, if we were doing well and if we hate her. Obviously, my aunt assured her that we definitely don't. My sister says that she wants to get in contact with the both of us, but she wants to take it slow and she didn't know how we would react. In my view, that's completely understandable. That's interesting point number 1. Interesting point number 2 happens when my sister goes, with her new boyfriend, up to visit our Nan. Another cousin of ours, big family, is also present for this meeting. My cousin tells me that my sister told our Nan that it had been a few months since she had last spoken to our mother, which is quite a bit different to over a year ago. Whatever, maybe my aunt misremembered the meeting. However, my cousin did say that she got a very off vibe from my sister, and to paraphrase her own words, heavily. You would think sister had last seen us all last weekend, not 5 years ago. She walked into Nan's house like she owned the fucking place. She didn't really say why she was getting in contact with us and not you or her father, other than she wasn't ready. And she didn't really say why she hadn't spoken to her mother either. I don't know, I wasn't happy with it at all. And we were all thinking that you two, my father and I, should be in that room, not us. But maybe your mother has made me too paranoid. The 3 occurs when I find out that my sister asked my Nan for some money to help her out with university, and not living with her mother anymore. My Nan, being the lovely little 86-year-old Welsh sweetheart that she is, gave her around $2,000. Now, I'm happy to be proven wrong here, but asking for $2,000 within a few hours of reconnecting with family that you haven't seen or made contact with for 5 years is very strange. I find out about this because around November, my Nan called me because she had promised me an update on the situation. To tell me that for about a week after my sister met up with them all, they had been in regular contact via phone and Facebook. Since that week, nothing. Unreturned voicemails, Facebook messages left on read. My sister had taken the money and fucked off. I spent the day reassuring my Nan that she hadn't done anything wrong, and she definitely wasn't the idiot she thought she was for giving my sister the money. Number 4 is the least interesting, but you'll be pleased to know that my ramblings end here at least. It should go without saying that since the first meeting in August with my aunt and her son, neither my dad nor I have had any direct contact with my sister. On Boxing Day, my sister finally calls my Nan and wishes her a Merry Christmas. My Nan says thanks and hangs up. In January, on my Nan's 87th birthday, my sister calls up and wishes her a happy birthday, and also mentions that she's having some money problems. My Nan rolls her eyes and hands the phone to my aunt, who buys my sister's sob story. Hook, line, and sinker, and rings me to tell me the quote-unquote good news, and that it's different this time. She really wants to see you. Thank you for reading me until the end.